So today I'm going to see if I can take this dark closet door and make it look like a window with a giant decal. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda in my office here. 160, 180 square feet maybe. Very small, and I have shown you this, and what I have here are these closet doors that are totally dark. So it makes it feel very claustrophobic, tight, small, dark in here. And I wanted to open it up. It'd be awesome if this were a window with an awesome view behind it, but I can't do that. So actually what I did on the door here, because they're both very dark, is put this decal on there from Fathead, and I think that looks pretty nice. Does it look like a window? Kind of in a cheap, chintzy getaway, but that's what we do here. We pinch those pennies. So what the problem here is this closet door is one of these accordion style closet doors. You can see it opens up on either side just like this, and it's pretty wide, and finding a decal that I could customize with my own picture is not that easy. So what I did find was this company called Eazywallz, and they will make a decal pretty much in any custom size. I mean, up to certain limits. And so I use basically the same image to hopefully kind of match that, but it's actually the same image. And one of the nice things about this is you can input the dimensions that you want. So as opposed to getting something that might be too big and then cutting it down, I will show you here, if I just hold this up, that is the right width. And it should be the right length too. So I shouldn't have to trim anything, which is going to make it easier, especially when you are putting up a very big decal that can be a little unwieldy. So what I want to do is put that up and then see if the corner of my office, instead of looking dark and dank and uninviting, starts to look like glass looking out over a serene snow-covered mountain. Although realistically, I suspect that it'll look like a closet and a door covered in a decal. All right, so one of the things that I want to note here is that this door is actually pretty smooth, so I think a decal will adhere to it pretty good. I might just wipe it down anywhere that it feels maybe a little slick. And then I also have these handles here, which I am going to remove before I put this on, and then I'm going to install this over the whole thing and then use my box cutter to cut on these door seams right there, as well as kind of punch the holes for the handles to come back. So now one of the things that I want to show you here is the material. It's actually pretty thin. It's pretty light. It's got, nice texture. It's a nice matte texture on this side and seems like it's pretty durable, but it's pretty thin. I would say maybe it's a little thinner than the vinyl decal that you would typically put on a laptop. And I think that helps, especially on a large size like this, so it's not super heavy. In terms of stickiness of this material, it's probably 2 or 3 times as sticky as a Post-it note. So it's got a decent amount of stickiness to it, but if you don't position it correctly, I'm sure you could peel this away. So you can see I can peel my finger off there pretty easily. So, all right, now I'm just gonna peel away this backing and let's get this thing installed. I really appreciate the fact that this was pre-cut to my size so that you don't have a lot of excess, because when you are working in a large format like this, it can actually be hard to line it up just because you don't want to bend or crease the paper. Now, I will say that I was also able to pull it away in a couple places where I needed to reapply it, and so I like that the adhesive isn't too sticky, but allows you some of that forgiveness. And then I was able to cut through it with a box cutter, which worked perfectly. All right, all done here. Now, I will say, these closet doors are not precision fit. There's a little bit of a gap, these kind of thin wood doors. That's just kind of how they work. But with the decal on there, even though I have some overlapping areas, as you stand back, that looks pretty good. The 2 printouts here are a pretty good match. Like I said, they're exactly the same picture. This one is just this section over here, but to be the judge of whether that makes it look more like a window. To me, it makes this 175 square foot office feel like 185. Does it open it up a little bit? It's definitely brighter. Obviously, the white snow here, it makes it look a little more open than that dark wood everywhere. Does it frame it like a window? Maybe a little bit. Kind of like a janky Disney ride effect or something like that. But if nothing else, it's just kind of cool. It makes it look like there's scenery, or it makes it look like I'm somewhere where I would rather be. Now, I would say you don't have to try to make it look like a window or something like that. You could just put up your favorite map, an aerial view of your favorite city or skyline, your favorite Pokemon character, Pikachu, Power Rangers, Star Trek, Sequest, DSV, Family Ties, Space, Above and Beyond, whatever you want. But I really dig this. The material here is actually just a little bit matte. It kind of feels a little bit like a movie screen. And as you might have been able to see in the video, where I had these little ridges, it kind of bubbled up. So the nice thing about this was I was kind of able to pull it away, flatten it out, straighten it out here, get out those little imperfections, but I think it looks pretty good. If you have a large area that you want to fit with a custom cut vinyl decal, then Eazywallz is probably the way to go. It matches my fat head for my smaller areas perfectly. I really love it. If this is going to make your working area, living area a little bit better, I'll put a link to it in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.
We can discover more and explore so much deeper. We can live better than ever thanks to Peter Von Panda.